Hello, welcome to the Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida at gmail.com. This is our weekly look at the real estate market here in the Villages. But today we're going to start with a question that everybody seems to be asking me these days, which is, what do you think interest rates are going to do? Should I wait? Will rates drop or will they rise further? The graph you're looking at is the price of the US 10-year Treasury note. The 10-year yield is the yield that most closely tracks the 30-year mortgage rate because the average holding period for people who have a 30-year mortgage is generally 7 years. And you can see that this graph, which goes back 2 years, has really shown price decreases over the last year, and we're heading back to the lows. Each bar on this graph represents one day of prices. We are getting close to the lowest price and the highest yield on the 10-year note that we've seen over the last 2 years, and indeed over the last couple of decades. If this price continues to drop, obviously we would expect rates to continue to rise. There's no sign at this point that rates are going to stop rising. Indeed, if you look at this graph, it appears as if rates are going to continue to rise. So let's now turn our attention to the Villages itself. This week, we've started by adding a new graphic, a market watch on the Villages real estate activity, where you can see how many new listings, price increases, decreases, properties sold, pending, etc. We will show you this graph every week. You can get some sense of how the market's progressing with one graphic. This graph shows you the total number of listings currently in the Villages. There are 233 active listings. They range in price from almost $180,000 to almost $2 million. This is the highest number of listings we've seen since April. We are getting into the busy season for the Villages. I would expect to see this number continue to increase. This table breaks down the listings by price segment. What you're looking at here is how many homes are for sale in each price segment. This week there are two homes between 100 and 200,000. In the most active price segment, the $300,000 to $500,000 price range, this week there are 144 listings. Last week there were 134. Here we look at how long properties are staying on the market. This is the median time on the market for all listings. We're down slightly from last week. We are under 40 days now for the median time on the market for all listings. Here we could take a look at what the median listing price is per square foot. We have bumped up slightly. We're just under $272 a square foot, still at the lower end of the range of what we've been seeing recently, but it's nice to see an increase at least. Here we take a look at properties that sold and closed over the last 7 days. 29 properties closed in the Villages over the last 7 days. They ranged in price from $277,000 to $960,000. We can take a closer look at what properties sold, and you can see that over the last 7 days, 12 properties in the $300,000 to $400,000 range closed. Previous 7 days saw 16 in the $400,000 to $500,000 range, 11. Last week there were 7. This is a look at how long properties that sold were on the market. Over the last 7 days, that number was 13 and a half days. That's the median time on the market, a slight increase from the 12 days on the market that we saw in the previous 7 day period. Here is some encouraging news. The price per square foot realized on properties that closed over the last 7 days has climbed to $267 a square foot, up from $254 for the previous 7 day time period. The price per square foot on properties that closed over the last 7 days seems to be holding fairly steady. Here we see how many new listings and how many homes went pending over the last 7 days. The number of new listings is 25 and the number of properties that went pending is 21. This graph is a little concerning. It shows the pending price per square foot. Properties that went pending over the last 7 days went pending at a median price of $247 a square foot. This is the lowest we've seen in the last 2 months. Looking at how long these pending sales were on the market, they were on the market for a median 17 days, down markedly from the previous 7 days where the properties have been on the market for 50 days. Here we take a look at what the price change from the original listing price is for properties that went pending over the last 7 days. We're still looking at or close to 5%, 4.79% is the median decrease from the original listing price for all properties that went pending over the last 7 days. And the final two items we look at are what percentage of properties on the MLS have had a price decrease from the original listing price. We're still at over 50% of all properties currently listed have had a price reduction from the original listing price. And the last thing we're going to look at is the percentage of decrease. Currently, 4.58% decrease is the median change for all listings currently on the MLS here in the Villages. So that ends this week's look at the real estate market here in the Villages. Once again, my name is David, and I can be reached at DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. If you have any questions on real estate in the Villages or in its proximity, please contact me. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. If you have interest in an area or a price range, please let me know, and I will make sure that you're notified anytime a property hits the market that meets your criteria. Hope to hear from you. Take care.